In today's episode, we're going to be talking about what happens when you're getting a lot of leads, but those leads are not turning into new patients. And I'm going to give you a checklist, 4-point checklist that you can use to make sure that you're getting the right kind of leads and turn those into new patients. And you can figure out, is this a marketing problem or is it a me problem? Sometimes it is a marketing problem, and sometimes it's an operational problem. So I'm going to give you 3 things around operations that you need to check first. And then the 4th thing is how to actually go in and improve the quality of your marketing, which might be the problem if you're getting a lot of leads and not a new patient. So we're going to jump into this, and I think you're going to really enjoy this episode. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to go listen to your calls and check your forms. What do I mean by that? Okay, so first, you need to go in and actually go and listen to the phone calls that are coming in, that are being driven, that aren't converting to leads. You need to see if your team is screening out new patients. You say, well, what do you mean by that? Well, what happens in a dental office is that dentists will say things, right? And all business owners will say things. I've said things before that my team takes and runs. So you might say something like, oh, I got another patient from ABC Insurance. Or, man, I can't stand this patient came in and asked me this question, or whatever it may be. And you're just saying it in passing, and your team hears you. And what they do is they begin to screen out patients based on your words, right? So they're like, man, let's try to make doctor happy. Let's actually get the patients that he wants in, and let's screen out some of the other ones. And they begin to screen out patients that you actually probably need, but they're trying to make you happy. So that's like me being generous. The other side of it is sometimes the front desk is very, very busy. They're busy checking people in, checking people out, doing accounts receivable, so on and so forth, right? You know all the things that the front desk does. They're getting pulled in every single direction, and the phone rings and someone's on the phone and they got 400 million other things to do that day. A new patient at that point is just more work for them. There's zero upside for them to deal with this new patient. It's actually far easier for them to dismiss them on the phones and just be like, okay, yeah, no, thanks, have a good day, and get them off the phone, which is another form of screening patients out. You would be shocked if you listen to new patient calls across these dental offices that are trying to grow, what's actually happening at the front desk. Now, what I always challenge dentists to do, because sometimes dentists are like, I don't know, not my practice. Go call your office. Call your office in the middle of the day, block your number, and see for yourself. And if you really want to see how big of an impact it can make if you just work with your team a little bit on this and get them up to speed, call 10 offices in your market. Just call 10. When you have some free time, just call them. Just pick up the phone and give them a ring and watch what happens. It's actually shocking how unprofessional, unprepared, and overwhelmed the front desk people are in America. It's crazy. So that's step number 1. Listen to your calls and also check your forms. So a lot of times what happens is you'll have a form on your website that is driving leads. I recently had an office that got like 20, 30 leads in a month from their online forms. And guess what? No one in the office was checking it. So they didn't get any of them. They're all gone. Never can get them back. They're all people who were super interested with a question that wanted to be called back, and no one called them because no one saw it. And if you're not paying attention to that, all it takes is one person changing at the front desk, or the front desk getting moved to another position, and those disappear and they're gone forever. And you might I've seen it before. I've seen it really bad where people went months and months and months without checking those and just lost all those new patients. So that's step number 1. If you're not getting leads, step number 1, listen to your calls, see if your team's screening out patients, and check your forms. And then step number 2 is look at what your average time to appointment is. Now, when you go through to listen to your calls, and you don't have to listen to every call, just go through and spot check, listen to maybe 10 calls. It'll take you 15 minutes. As you begin to do that, what you're going to notice is your team may be pushing your patients really far out. And so what happens when you push your patients really far out is that your marketing never actually gets the chance to catch up, because you're putting people so far out that by the time they come in, it's a month later and your numbers aren't impacted by it. So you want to see how long are patients waiting to get in, because it's almost impossible to grow if you're putting patients 3 to 4 weeks out. And you say, oh, I don't know if that's me. I think we're getting them in right away. Average time to appointment in dental right now is 2 to 3 weeks. That's the average. So if you're not tracking it, you might be in that average range, and it makes it super duper hard to grow. Now, a lot of people say, well, shouldn't it catch up eventually if I'm putting these patients 2 to 3 weeks out? It doesn't, which leads into point number 3. It doesn't catch up because your no-show rate begins to spike really high on your marketing new patients because you're putting them so far out. Now, here's where it gets tricky. No one actually says, hey, Bill, good to see you. No one actually says in their reporting, when they look at their reporting, it's really hard to catch no-shows because the office deletes them when they don't show up for their appointment. And a lot of times, this is not captured anywhere. So like the patient was supposed to come in, they delete it, they never showed it up. It's like it never even existed. So not only do you lose the tracking on the average time to appointment, you also lose that no-show or that cancellation or whatever. And now you don't really have a true number of what your no-show rate is, especially against marketing. So you have to go ask your team, hey, when somebody doesn't show up for the new patient appointment, what do you do? And if they're like, oh, we just deleted from the schedule, then you need to reverse engineer how that's reported. That's a huge problem. And then, so those are the 3 things you need to do. Those are all operational. So that doesn't fix marketing. So if you're getting lots of leads and they're not turning into new patients, those first 3 things are going to help you operationally. But now let's talk about what you do if it's a non-operational thing and it's a marketing problem. Then what you need to do is you need to take your last 12 months of new patients and you need to plot them on a map and figure out where those patients are coming from and then delineate the difference between the good new patients and the bad new patients. Now, there's different ways to do that. You can do it by how much treatment they accepted. You can do that by what insurance they had. You can do that by the type of treatment they came in for. So there's lots of different ways to do that. And then what you're going to be able to see is where you're targeting your marketing in the wrong areas and where you're targeting your marketing in the right areas, and stop hitting those bad areas and start hitting your good areas. That's what you really want to accomplish with that. And so what you want to do is you want to take that map and then put the patients over it and then look at the income levels, look at the population, and stop doing the bad and do more of the good. That's the trick. And it takes time. This takes 90 days to work through, where you take these, you put them on a map, you work it, then you do it again. And eventually it starts to really make a big impact, and you start getting the right kind of patients that are actually going to not just be leads, but come into the office. So if you deal with that problem, drop a comment below. We're happy to make those maps for you and build them out for you. And let me know in the comments down below, have you ever gotten a lot of leads before and they didn't turn into new patients? I would love to hear from you. Hope you have a good day.